What if I told you that the most terrifying thing in the world isn't a monster, it isn't a ghost? It's the silence after you've screamed and no one comes. Daniel hadn't spoken to another human being in 11 days, not by choice, at least not at first. It began the way loneliness always does, quietly. A canceled plan here, an unanswered text there. His co-workers had gone remote, his neighbors kept to themselves, and somewhere between 1 week and the next, the world simply forgot about him. His apartment was a perfect square of nothing, white walls, a dying plant on the windowsill, a phone that lit up only with promotional emails. But Daniel had a ritual that kept him sane. Every night at exactly 9 p.m., he would sit at his kitchen table, open his laptop, and wait for the one thing that still felt like contact. A stranger on the internet who cooked meals and told stories. Daniel never commented. He just watched. And somehow, that was enough. Until the night the stranger looked directly into the camera and said, "I see you, Daniel." He froze. His name, his actual name, not a username, not a handle. His real name, the one he'd never typed anywhere on that platform. He told himself it was a coincidence, a common name, a trick of an exhausted mind. He laughed it off, closed the laptop, and went to bed. That was his first mistake. The next evening, he opened the stream again. The stranger was already live, already cooking, chopping vegetables with slow, deliberate strokes. Daniel watched silently, the way he always did. Then the stranger paused, set down the knife, and spoke without looking up. "You came back. I knew you would. Lonely people always do." Daniel's fingers went cold. He slammed the laptop shut and stood up so fast, his chair screamed against the floor. His breathing filled the room, loud, ragged, the only human sound in 11 days. He grabbed his phone and scrolled through his contacts. 43 names. He stared at each one. He could not make himself press a single one, because the truth, the horrible, creeping truth, was that he wasn't sure any of them would answer. He sat back down, in the dark, with the closed laptop glowing faintly in front of him, and then it opened on its own. The stream was still live. The stranger was still there, but now the kitchen behind him was different. The walls, the windowsill, the dying plant, it was Daniel's apartment. And the stranger turned, fully, slowly, and smiled at the camera. "You should have talked to someone," he said softly. "Anyone." It's remarkable what loneliness lets in. The screen went black. Daniel reached for his phone with trembling hands. 43 contacts. He pressed the first name he saw. It rang once, twice, and then, hello, a real voice. A tired, ordinary, beautiful human voice. Daniel's eyes filled with tears. "Hey," he whispered. I needed to hear someone." A pause. Then yeah, me too, honestly. The horror in this story isn't supernatural. It's the space we leave around ourselves when we stop reaching out. The silence we mistake for safety. Because the truly frightening thing isn't what waits in the dark. It's the version of yourself that forgets how to knock on a door. If this story made you feel something, if it lingered, come back. There are more stories waiting here. Ones that live in the quiet, uncomfortable corners of being human. Hit that subscribe button somewhere nearby. Not because an algorithm told you to, but because you want to be here when the next one begins. And maybe tonight, send that text. Make that call. Don't let the screen be the only thing that sees you.